Welcome back to episode 9 of 100 video challenge to see if we can improve. So with this one, I am trying the new iOS update with having a background. I'm recording with my laptop camera at the moment. So I think it only does 1080p rather than 4K, but we'll find out how that goes. Plus I've also tried the, instead of a USB, I've tried the I've literally forgotten what the cable's called, but a proper mic cable that apparently should be better. I did a little bit of research, but clearly I've forgotten everything currently. So hopefully these videos are slightly me trialing out different things, trialing with the iPad to the phone to the Mac to different things just to show what you can work with and to find a setup that works for you. By doing this, it's finding out ways that can not stop the creative flow. And as I'm talking about creative flow, it's a segue into navigating challenges in the creative process. So for me, this has been a journey for the past probably a couple of years now. I think since working with Dan, my eldest brother, in a digital agency, and now becoming my own company as Ryland Studios, of doing my own thing. It's when you're doing design work or videography, actually is a really nice thing to follow your passion, that is being creative and showing, I guess, your artistic flow through design or through visuals. But I guess what comes with that is navigating the challenges. So I think sometimes I've noticed that the creativity is to some extent similar more to emotion rather than logic, in the sense that it comes and goes in waves. It's very similar to motivation, to be fair. And it is very easy to be reliant on the creative juices to get things going, get things done, get you through stuff. But actually, you need a foundation of discipline, of giving yourself time or energy, either for research, maybe even if it's just for rest, just so then the creative juices tend to flow a little bit more straightforward. Because as I've been trying, is sometimes doing the creative process by just being creative and trying to think about creating items, I tend to hit roadblocks. It's as if you're trying to squeeze an orange and you've squeezed all the juices out of it, but then you just continue to squeeze it the best you can, rather than stepping back, maybe doing research, maybe going for a walk, maybe playing a game, just doing different things just to let your brain soak up, rest up, get some more fruit on the branches. So then when you go back to trying to defeat a task, complete a project, whatever that looks like, that then hopefully your creative mind is a lot more at ease. Because I think the difficulty is I don't think school, well, particularly for me, has helped in that sense, because usually, even though you're tired, you have to go to your next lesson. The bell will ring, now you're in English, now you're in history, now you're in Welsh, now you're in maths. And it's not like you can just choose to be like, oh, I'm just going to do maths today because I don't have any energy for English and I'll do that the next day. Actually, it teaches you you have to go through the systems, and it's good in the sense of discipline and variation. And I guess breaks, because you're forced to have a break and you're forced to have lunch and that type of thing. But I think when you're in a creative job, it's so easy to sit at a laptop trying to force something, particularly for 8 hours, that I'm definitely not created that way. I know others are. It can be a very difficult place to be, because I think with that roadblock of creativity then can produce self-doubt, which, yeah, you might not be good enough for the project, or you feel like you can't bring, any input to a potential client in that regards. And then it makes you doubt the work and the ability that you have. And I think just because you have limitations, that you have weaknesses, that you need to rest, it doesn't mean that you can't provide experience or creativity or any impact within a client or a project that's in front of you, just because you're dealing from a place of lack with energy, or mentally, or maybe emotionally, if there's things happening in your day-to-day life. And I think with this, it is just, by navigating it, it is finding a flow for yourself. What is working right now? What might not be working right now? What are the remits that you're giving yourself? Are you giving yourself trialing new challenges or new tasks, or trialing a different, even if it's just going on a different route for your walk rather than the usual one, of breaking rhythms, or maybe trialing out a game. If it's a cost thing, trialing out a demo just to come across different art styles, different design game styles that might help you in your flow of knowing what works for you in your business or project. And I think with that, it is just that you can find inspiration from any or all things that are around you. Because I've noticed that I can find inspiration from nature, of going for walks, or even if it's just looking outside. That I'm currently moved to, well, I'll call this the studio, but it's the garage, but there's a window that I could literally look at the apple tree and look at the sky. So that it might be the different weather, and as it right now is quite cloudy. And it is that you can just go through the seasons of, it might be pouring down with rain and might be miserable, and then within half an hour of a bit of wind, the sun shines. And I think it is recognizing those different elements of weather that can be in your body, of if it's sadness or happiness or joy or sorrow, that a lot of the time it doesn't stay there, even though the fear is that it does stay there, particularly for the negative emotions, but actually your body incorporates all the emotions. And I think it goes through the different systems. Obviously with someone dealing with depression and stuff like that, that is a different sort of topic to what I'm talking about. And yeah, someone more experienced than me can talk about that elsewhere on YouTube. I'm not in the know with that much, particularly stuff that I'm interested in and learning about slowly, but not an expert in that at all. But I think just for the day-to-day life, people that might not be suffering with depression or complete lockdown of emotion or whatever, that you could recognize that you could have joy if it's in your cup of tea or within your lie-in or within your lunch break. But then you might have sadness because you're going back to work, or that you're stuck on a project and that type of thing. And it's recognizing those ebbs and flows of your day-to-day life. I think for me as well, going on to, once you found your inspiration, sometimes that you want to implement it with perfection. And actually, I think with perfection, it tends to strangle a creative flow, because we're looking at making sure the spelling's correct or making sure everything's lined up, rather than getting most of your ideas down. Because actually, by throwing all your ideas down and not making it perfect, you'll end up probably revising it a couple of times. So you can leave that. I don't mind if it's spelling mistake. I don't mind if it's lorem ipsum, which is just fake words put into, let's say I'm designing an app, you could just put fake words just to be like, there's roughly going to be a blog post here, so let me leave that empty just so I know I can fill it out later. So then you just literally, what are the bare bones that you need to build on? Me and Dan talk about this regarding MVP, so minimum viable product. So what that basically means is, what is the bare minimum you can get away with? So a lot of the time we try and do maybe 3 screens within an app, and it's just to convey an idea, see if it makes sense and see if it works. And by designing it out, then you might come up with either another idea or another iteration to that idea that then might change those 3 pages. And then you'll build from there to be like, oh, this is a good idea, or this is a creative idea, it fixes a problem. So then you might then build out other pages within the app and go into it with more detail, rather than worrying about all the detail and not knowing actually what is the point of this app. Do I have a clear boundary of what is this project that might be? And I think that's the thing, is a lot of the time it is just consistency and focus, and it's learning how to, it's the visual that's popped to my mind, is to some extent manage them. I'm viewing it as if they're both dogs and they're both yanking at you in different ways. So if the focus is like one dog that's wandering off and doesn't really know where it's going, that is, how do you realign it? How do you give it, it might need a treat, it might need some guidance, it might need just the routine of, this is the route that we're walking. Similar to consistency, it is just going on those, I guess taking the dog analogy, is making sure it's fed, making sure it's watered, make sure it's gone for its walks, making sure it's done its business. It's just trying to get into those habits of of creating at the end of the day, not worrying about the perfection, the making it look as good as everyone else's stuff. I think comparing with others is a massive killer. I know that I like to do it consciously and subconsciously, but actually the art of creativity is sometimes to create something, and to create something might be for you or for someone, or just for even just you practicing in open space, particularly with when you're putting something out there, you might want that it lands with someone, it resonates with someone, but actually it's just the art of creation. By creating this thing, you get to practice. Well, for me, it's the lighting, it's this new office space, it's adding this Apple location behind me, it is figuring out the mic. There's a lot of things within this creation, and actually by the end of it, something within me would be like, actually I could have improved that, actually I want to change that, but I have to do step one of doing it, doing the mistakes, learning from the mistakes, or maybe not learning from mistakes, but hopefully learning from them for a while. But yeah, so it's just a bit of a ramble on different things. But yeah, small wins can lead to large breakthroughs. So how can you break down that thing? It might be a very large project that you're trying to do that's on your brain. How do you break that down? That's one thing that I've been chatting with Dan, trying to build an app that encourages reward, but also we've pulled it out of the app currently, but I'm tempted to reintegrate it with the app, but just slightly tweak it. But how do we break down these large tasks that are on our brains into small bite size so we can literally run? I'm trying to figure out, even within myself, personal and business life, how do I create a list of things and things that basically I can run with. I need a plan and I need to be patient. And the element is if I've got energy and I just need to get things done, it might be just doing a social post. There's nothing stopping me from doing that other than energy or time or whatever. If that's the top of my list of, I can run with this, just give me time to do it and I'll do it. The plan might be something a little bit more. It might be buying a new camera or getting a new tool. There might be some financial planning of, when can I buy this? What does it look like? Can I do it within the next month, 3 months, 10 months or longer? And then patience. So with patience, it might be just, you might have a vision, but you don't know actually how to get there. There might be okay, you can try and put a financial plan, or you can try and put this, but particularly for me, trying to build a business, you might have all these grand ideas, but you don't actually know. You physically can't necessarily plan them or run with them, but actually it's just being patient of, okay, I don't know how I'm going to get there. I'll keep an eye on it just in case I can plan anything or run with anything. But at the moment, I just need to be patient with it and actually just sit on it, sit with it, just think about it and not necessarily do any actions towards it. But yeah, it's trying to bring that, put it into an app to then hopefully help others in that one thing, as that's what it's called. But yeah, hopefully it's helpful navigating challenges in creative processes. You'll have roadblocks, you'll have self-doubt. Just embrace those imperfections, find inspiration, be consistent, aim for focus, break down those big tasks, and hopefully you'll have large breakthroughs. But yeah, that is episode 9 for now. It's actually much harder to do this 100 videos. I think I've not done it for 2 weeks. I've been putting it off as I've not known what to do. I actually put all my titles into ChatGPT and asked it, what should I do? Because actually I could tell that I was holding off bringing up a topic, going, can I speak long enough? Or can I do that? Can I do that? So I outsourced the thinking process because I knew that it was getting sort of stuck in my creative brain of overthinking it or not giving it enough time to think, of just going, okay, what do you suggest? It popped out a question and you just go with the flow, see what you create. And here we are now, 15 minutes later, we have a video. But yeah, hopefully this is helpful for anyone. And if it's not, no worries. It is helpful for me to practice with new mic setup, new office, and see what it's like from a sound and echoing point of view. But yeah, bye for now. Hopefully this helps, and comment if there's anything you want me to talk about on the next episode. Bye for now.